Welcome back for more Reddit story videos. Today we have several IDontWorkHereLady stories for you to enjoy. As always, don't forget to share and like if you enjoy these videos. Without further ado, here we go. Got assaulted at a grocery store for wearing a manager's costume. I was shopping at a store that rhymes with strafe this weekend on the way home from a really awesome date night with my fiance. So I was dressed pretty nicely. Black jacket, black skirt and heels. Fiance and I usually go our separate ways in the store to achieve the best efficiency of finishing our list as fast as possible. So I was alone when this interaction started. An older Karen, probably around 60, was putting around the soup aisle and hemming and hawing at the sale, 10 for $10. And I guess she saw me with my cart putting something back on the shelf. She cleared her throat a few times and stomped around, but obviously I was just minding my own business. Okay, hey lady. Me, deciding between strafe, brand mac and cheese or Kraft. Kate, hey you, manager, excuse me, hey. Me, finally acknowledging her. Oh me, I'm not a manager. Did you need some help or something? Kate, well obviously you're a manager, why else would you be dressed like that? Which of these soups count for the 10 for $10? I'm not the manager. Me, I'm not a manager, I don't work here and I don't know, probably the ones that are directly labeled in the sign that says 10 for 10? Okay, what the hell is your problem? Well, you're the one yelling at me. Karen stomped over, wagging her finger at me like I was a child, yelling at me about customer service, how I should do my job and help her choose her soups, and all that's wrong with the youth today. Something also along the lines of me getting fired for incompetence. I don't know, I zoned out. Me, madam, if you need help, please go up to one of the cashiers that work here and ask them. I'm here buying food like you. Okay, stop lying. Do you think I'm stupid? You're an effing manager here. You're wearing the costume, you think you can just... Okay, listen, Then Karen smacks my hand, making me drop the box of mac and cheese I was holding. Don't effing interrupt me. Me, what the hell lady, you just hit me. Yeah I did, you interrupted me. Seriously, what the hell? At this point, my fiance heard me yelling and zoomed over. He was also dressed nicely, bottom up, black slacks, the works. F, what's happening? Babe, are you alright? Me, she just slapped my hand because she's too thick to hear me when I say, I don't work here. What? Okay, you need to fire this B, she won't do her job. Do you really think everyone dressed remotely nice is a manager? Crickets. Okay, well, I know she is. She was putting back that jar earlier because I didn't want to buy it, you dumbass. Okay, you can't talk to me that way. Me, babe, grab an actual manager, please. I want to call the cops on this crazy bee. Okay, I'm a paying customer. Me and F, so are we. This is getting long. So the rest of the story, it went like this. She stepped back in shock that we both yelled at her and fiance waved over some poor unsuspecting person. The actual manager got there and the lady started her BS again about how both me and my fiance should get fired, how we suck, etc, etc, blah. She proudly admitted to hitting me, by the way, which was hilarious. The manager looked at us and back at her and told her to apologize for hitting me and that she should leave. She again mentioned my manager's costume and how it's my fault. The manager, in his actual manager outfit, pointed at his badge and name tag, his specific all-black outfit, and tried to explain to her that all managers are dressed like he was. That we were definitely not managers just because we looked nice. And she is assaulting another customer. Okay, but she deserved it for talking back to me. The manager had this, I want to run you over with a car look on his face, and he slowly poked to her like she was 3. Again, explaining that we didn't work here, I piped up, asking the manager politely to inform the woman that if she didn't apologize, I would like him to call the police and file for assault. The manager repeated this to the lady slowly, and the lady screeched and threw a can on the ground. Swiped her arm through a bunch of soups, causing them to avalanche to the ground and briskly waddled out of the store. We helped the manager pick up the soups, even though he kept saying sorry and that we didn't have to help him, and he asked if I really wanted to press charges. I said no, there is no point, I just thought it would make her go away. but if he wanted to make a police report, I would be happy to provide my statement. We laughed about my manager's costume and got a $30 gift card to use for our groceries. Karen mistakes me for a manager because of my headset. I fought with escaping retail 2 years ago, mostly unscathed that I would never have to deal with a Karen. I was wrong. I'm on mobile, so I've apologized for the formatting and I will try my best to keep grammar mistakes to a minimum. I'm so sorry for how long it turned out to be, but I'm still kind of embarrassed with how I reacted, so my typing is a little frantic. So for the cast, you've got me as myself, DK for Dumb Karen, WE for Walmart employee, and FM for my former manager. So this week I actually get to be home for a few days. I am an over-the-road truck driver that runs a dedicated load every week across the country and nowhere near home. My co-driver, aka my dad, and I pretty much run 40 plus weeks out of the year and usually take a solid month off or so when we want to be home or go on vacation out of the country. Any other time it is just a day or two here and there when we can just happen to get to town. But this time we got to go home for a solid week. You know what that means? Home cooked meals. I love to cook and so to do so I needed fresh groceries. Stupid me decided to run to Walmart solo instead of the neighborhood grocery store down by my house, and boy do I regret that now. I actually enjoy Walmart much to everyone's shock. I am a former employee, you see, an ex-cashier that according to my former coworkers have an unshakable customer service personas that couldn't be wavered by 2 years of retail abuse. I actually rather like the job being the people pleaser, masochist that I am, and I had quite a number of regulars and employees that I still like to chat with when I'm out shopping. This day I would finish with my catching up and had moved deeply into my hunt for the ingredients I needed for a new recipe I was eager to try. I was having trouble finding a certain spice among the variety before me when it happened. The classic Karen throat clearing. Full disclosure, I have no idea how long the woman I looked up to find glaring at me had been trying to get my attention. I had on my blue parrot headset that I usually wear when driving, and at the time was using it to ironically listen to scary Walmart stories by a YouTuber while my eyes were scanning the shelves and checking the recipe list on my phone. Needless to say, I hadn't been looking for a human interaction at that moment. But like usual, my knee-jerk customer service persona, which is just me giving a polite smile and friendly eyes, kicked in and I shifted my cart away from the shelves while also muting my phone. Me, I'm sorry if I'm DK. You shouldn't ignore a customer like that. It's so unprofessional. Honestly, why do they appoint barely teenagers to management? DK scolds me a bit more, ranting about management meaning experience, but really I only paid attention to the first thing she said to me. My mind had wandered off looking from here to down at myself. To her credit, I was dressed nice, but not exactly what I call professional with pastel pink capris, flouncy olive green blouse, and shiny metallic bronze flats. What can I say? I like dressing nice and colorful when I'm not at risk of getting diesel on my clothes. DK was a middle-aged, local, classic pain in the behind whose sense of fashion often hurt my eyes. This one looked like she just rolled out of the trailer park, wearing a camo hoodie with pink, black workout pants that probably had never seen the inside of a gym, lime green running shoes, and bottle blonde hair done up in a ponytail pulled through the back of a very loved baseball cap. To complete the look, she had a huge Coach purse sitting in her buggy beside her, a bag even I know cost more than her entire outfit times 3. Yeah, typical Karen for where I'm from. Me. Listen, I don't work here. If you need help with something though, all you need to do is press that button and it will call someone for you. I gestured to a need help call button located on a post about 2 paces behind me up the aisle. Usually I wouldn't mind helping someone who couldn't find something. I had former customers ask for my help all the time, and if I wasn't busy and they were nice or just elderly, I was a big hit with elderly because I'm a sucker for little old ladies. So far, DK wasn't any of those things, and she had a perfume on that was making my nose itch, so I was hoping to shoo her away. No such luck. DK scolds at my suggestion. DK, why are you lying? You work here. You've checked me out numerous times and I don't appreciate being lied to. The nerve. To be honest, I felt this mixture of confused resignation and completely dropped my smile inside. I'm only as nice as I want to be. In truth, I have a resting bitch face that makes me very unapproachable according to my best friends. Me, listen, I don't work here anymore and I'm in the middle of getting my own groceries, so let's just not. Turning back to the shelf of spices, I check my phone again before glancing over the selection before finally finding what I needed. Just as I move to put it in my buggy and move along with my day, I get a sharp, nasty pain in the side of my head. I yelped, probably louder than necessary, but I was so caught off guard by the pain that I didn't care. Plus, I am very tender-headed. See, apparently the DK was not happy with me and grabbed a hold of my headset and yanked it off my head. Unfortunately for me, I have very thick, very wavy hair that for some reason other people envy. Not me though, and especially not when the headrest of my headset tangled in my hair from the way she tried to snatch it off, and instead she ended yanking and pulling out more than a few strands of my hair. Even with such a yank, she didn't manage to free it from my hair and just ended up dropping it, causing the headset to tangle further in my hair and cause gravity to yank my hair mercilessly again. Most people would have stopped and apologized after realizing what they've done, not DK though. DK, don't you dare walk away from me. How dare you speak to me that way? I don't care if you're management now or what. You still work at effing Walmart. You're still not as important as me. Her last comment made me pause in the midst of me trying to free my hair from my headset. Eyes watering, scalp roving. I always have hated how people look down on people working at Walmart. Majority of the cashiers and floor associates that I knew at this store were either students or were retired professionals like teachers, nurses, office workers. Most of our older staff were just part-timers to have something to do. I was pissed. Me, I don't work here. DK, not this again, I told you. Me, I don't work here. I don't work here. I don't work here. I don't work here. I just kept repeating myself, getting louder and louder until I was practically screaming at her, making her back away from me. Something I have learned early on as a child was that I was the last kind of person people expected to hear yell. I don't know if it's the way I look or just the vibe I gave off. I don't know. But either way, I've learned to use it to my advantage to get people to back off. But the screaming also started to draw attention to us as people started coming into the aisle to see what was happening. Among the people included a Walmart employee I was familiar with, even though she started after I left and my former manager. By the time they showed, I had finished screaming and was now just glaring at the shell-shocked and probably embarrassed DK who was red in the face. WE. What's going on here? Is someone hurt? DK points a finger at me first as I'm catching my breath and have started fiddling with my hair again, trying to get it untangled. DK, this girl went crazy when I tried to ask her where something is and started screaming in my face and even swung at me. She needs to go to jail or at least be fired. By the end of her speech, big crocodile tears were streaming down her face, and one of the random customers who had come to watch was patting her shoulder and trying to console her. The WE and FM turns to me just as I finally get my headset free with a good clump of my hair still wrapped around the head, rest and look up meeting their gazes. FM, OP, are you alright? What happened? Why were you screaming? What's with all the hair? FM, bless her, didn't even wait for my response. I really wasn't in the state of mind to give one, as I tend to go mute when I get very, very upset. As she looked from my distraught face to my hands still holding the headset and mess of her hair hanging limply from it before turning back to DK, who was quietly regaling some of the crowd with just how horrific I had been. FM, excuse me, but can you tell me what happened again, and also perhaps tell me why OP is holding a chunk of her hair? DK, what about her hair? I told you, she attacked me. I'm the victim here. Are you believing her over me because she is your employee? That still doesn't answer her question. Did you pull out OP's hair? What kind of person does that? The crowd begins to murmur and DK obviously realizes she's losing popular opinion. In the meantime, I'm starting to calm down and rub at my scalp, trying to dissipate the pain. Luckily, no blood. DK, I was just asking her a question and she ignored me. I pulled off her headphone to get her to listen to me. It's not my fault she doesn't brush her hair. WE, that's assault. Why would you ever put your hands on someone and now you're telling everyone that she attacked you? What's the matter with you? I think it's time we called for the sheriff's department. DK's eyes widened as she seemed to come to the realization that she might have screwed with the wrong person. But as I've said before, I can be nice when I want to. Me. I'm fine, just make her leave me alone. I don't want to spend one of my precious nights at home with a police officer unless he is buying me dinner. This made the crowd laugh. FM, are you sure, OP? Me, no, but I have cold things to get home. A dinner to cook, and my dad's probably wondering what's taking so long. To that, FM nodded and forced DK to follow her while the crowd quickly dispersed and went back to their own shopping. WE stayed with me and we chatted while I got the last few things I needed and went to checkout. FM came up to me after I finished paying and told me she had the woman banned from this store. To be honest, that really sucks for her because this is the only Walmart in this county, and the closest Walmart I know of is over 40 minutes drive from where I live. Apparently though, I wasn't the first person she had harassed here, although all the others had been actual employees, and the security feed that she reviewed clearly showed the woman trying to snatch off my headset. FM tells me that if it had been her, she would have socked the woman in the mouth, which is really surprising because FM was a former elementary school teacher who taught for close to 40 years before retiring and taking up the management position to stay active and supplement her income. FM has the patience of a saint, but says she wouldn't have hesitated to backhand DK after I explained to her what DK had said to me. We chatted some more, laughed a bit, and then I went home. I'm sorry it was so long, but I just had to get it out of my system in order to sleep tonight. I knew there were irate people in this world, but I never thought I would meet such a self-entitled Karen in real life. Update. I take it back. I should have had her arrested the first go around. This woman has made my nice peaceful week at home a freaking nightmare. Yes, I ran into DK again today, but this time was at Lowe's. So the new cast is DK as dumb Karen who didn't learn her lesson for the first time, me for myself, AD for my awesome dad and boss, LE for Lowe's employee that I know, and LM for Lowe's manager who I am familiar with. So I decided to run another errand while I was home for the week. This time it was to Lowe's to pick up some mulch for AD's newly built raised flower beds and a few odds and ends like metal piping, spray paint, and screws for a home project I decided to start. AD is a few hours over from me picking up the spray paint while I was looking at screws and chatting with Ellie for a few minutes about my cat. I own a Sphinx cat, a hairless cat named Pan, who will go with me anywhere if I would let him. Since Lowe's is pet friendly, he usually tags along with me every trip and sits in the child seat without complaining the whole time. All of the staff here adore him and are constantly stopping me for a visit and a chat. Ellie being the most often to visit her because her section is right next to the main entrance. After Ellie leaves to check her section, but not before promising to bring back some cat treats for Pen. I turn my attention back to the screws. I kid you not, mere seconds after Ellie leaves, I hear someone growl out, "You!" I turn around wide-eyed to find DK standing there behind her cart, glaring at me. Let me note before this exchange that I am wearing jean shorts, a red blouse with a bandana print, flip-flops, and my hair pulled with a scrunchie. I was the definition of non-professional attire, and I certainly don't look like a Lowe's associate. DK, so this is where you work. Me, sorry? DK, oh, you'll be sorry. Where's your manager? I demand you get him for me now. I want you fired after what you did to me the other day. I'll admit, I wasn't on my best game in this moment. It had been a long day. AD and I had spent most of it out in the yard, checking on the progress of the lawn. We had laid grass seed before we went back to work at the end of May, and also shoving soil into the raised flower beds. I was sun-tired and this woman had enough malice to knock the wind out of your sails. Me, I don't work here either, lady. DK, liar. I saw you talking with your coworker. No one talks that much with staff unless you're an employee. Now get me your manager. Now. Her comment really irritated me. By her logic, I should also work at the bank, the water company, the electric company, the Dollar General, Witt's Barbecue, the Pilot, and pretty much everywhere else that I run errands in town. Especially the place I take Pen. He's such a well-behaved baby and an easement for people to approach me and strike up conversation. Plus, I really do enjoy talking with people, but this woman acted like anyone working or making a living was beneath her. It disgusted me. Me, are you deaf? I don't work here. And Ellie and I were just talking about my baby here. DK, baby? Confused DK peeks around me at Pan sitting there doing his best yoga pose with back leg thrown high in the air while he cleaned his leg. DK shrieks, making me step back into the shelves because damn, I was not expecting that. Meanwhile, Pan doesn't even acknowledge her. He's too busy cleaning and used to loud noises from living on the truck. DK, what is that hideous creature? Me, whoa, hang on, wait a minute. DK, how dare you bring that disgusting thing in a store? It's a naked rat. Me, it's my cat, you dumbass. I actually think the woman was getting ready to throw something at me and or Pan if Ellie didn't appear coming up the aisle followed by AD. Ellie, madam, would you please calm down? OP, what's going on? DK, this girl brought a disgusting creature into the store. Get me a manager. I want her fired and banned. Ellie, disgusting? AD, fired? Ellie, madam, this is a pet-friendly store and Pan Pan is a welcome guest. He may be unusual looking, but he's a very good fur baby. DK, that thing is an abomination. What if children saw it? It's licking its junk. Well, that was true. Pan had moved further south with his cleaning and was still completely oblivious to the crazy lady. While Ellie was defending my little Pan's honor, AD nudged me to get my attention. AD, what the hell's going on with this woman? Me, remember that stupid woman I told you about that thought I still worked at Walmart? AD, the one that put out your hair when she tried to snatch off your headset? Me, And that's when AD's eyes went from mildly annoyed to fully pissed off. I wish there was an analogy for dads like there is for moms. You know, Tiger Mom or Mama Bear? AD really deserves one. Especially when he's upset on my behalf. AD has a big heart and is a surrogate dad to any and all who need one. But biologically, I'm his only child. I'm his #1 priority and DK dared to mess with me. AD, tell Ellie to get her manager. He steps forward, calling for DK's attention, who is still ranting about Pan. Another bad move on her because my dad refers to him as his grandbaby. Me, I am OP's boss. What exactly did she do to you? DK gets this smug grin on her face for a minute as she looks from Ellie to me and then back to AD. It's then that her face twists into this striking expression as she recounts to AD how I had harassed her in Walmart a couple of days ago and got her thrown out of the store because I was friends with management. And how I spotted her today and started threatening her and taunting her and yelling at her to get out of the store. Geez, this woman had a screw loose. I managed to mumble to Ellie to fetch the manager towards the beginning of her story, and Ellie scurried off. Coming back fairly quickly with her manager in tow, just as DK was demanding AD to kick me out and how she couldn't believe employees act like this and brought ugly animals to their place of work. LM stepped up, looking around at our little group, slightly confused. Apparently, Ellie had only told him a customer was harassing another customer and had to hurry. LM, I'm the shift manager. What seems to be the problem here? AD, yeah, sorry to bother you, but this woman came up and started screaming at my daughter. She assaulted her at the Walmart on Friday and got banned from the store. Now she seems to think she can get my daughter banned from here in return, so she's making up wild accusations. DK's jaw drops at my AD's calm, a bit stern explanation as she looks between me and him. I don't know how she didn't realize he was my dad. I bear a striking resemblance to him, although most people say we look the most alike when we smile and we weren't smiling right now. DK, your daughter? I thought you said you were her manager. AD, no, I said I was her boss, which I am. She does not work here or at Walmart. DK, you. DK made a strangled sound in her throat. Her face turned almost purple in shade. Whatever she wanted to say, I guess words couldn't convey because suddenly she launched herself at us, arms raised, fingers curled like claw ready to stretch our eyes out. AD was too quick for her though as he shoved me out of the way and sidestepped her, causing DK to run full force into the shelf behind us. She's lucky that the lower drawer kept her from impaling herself in the eye with the hanging rags. Judging by her scream though, I'm pretty sure she scratched the hell out of her arms though, as she fell back onto the floor none too gently. DK began shouting assault and for help and of course for the police. She got her wish. LM radioed for security and in less than a minute, two guys were hauling a screeching and cursing DK up and marching her towards the front of the store. The police were called and what should have been a 30-minute shopping trip turned into an hour-and-a-half long ordeal of speaking with multiple managers, giving our statements to the police, watching DK lose it on the police and have to be tasered in order to be handcuffed, and agreeing that this time, yes, I wanted to press charges. They took security tapes and I gave them the name of my former manager from Walmart to contact, confirming the early incident as well as see about getting their security tapes as well. We then finally got to pay for our stuff. LM insisting on giving us 10% off our final purchase price for all the trouble. Plus he knew from working with us in the past just how much we would spend at the store in the last year while we've been landscaping AD's new property. That made AD very happy and he spent the last couple of hours calling up his buddies and telling them about the lunatic at the Lowe's and how he got a discount. He's a simple person to please. I wish he wouldn't have told his wife though, because she got very upset and worried about us. It's her normal state. And demanded for us to leave the rest of the yard work and my project until tomorrow and to just relax for the rest of the night. We oblige her and I'm taking part of my resting time to write this update. I'm so shocked by this woman. I have never been spoken to a stranger like this outside of my stint doing retail. Is this just how some people are? God, I hope she gets help. She won't be finding it at Lowe's though, because we were assured that DK was banned from there as well. And as a side note, Lowe's is also the only home improvement store in our county. The next available one is a Home Depot about 30-minute drive up the interstate. Sucks to be here. Work here? I don't even shop here. I'm a truck driver. I got a load delivering to a Costco store, which was weird because I usually only deliver to their distribution center. Thank F for Google Street View. Anyway, I arrived, parked my rig, and went to go check in. A random employee let me in through the receiving door and told me to wait right there while he went to get the manager to sign for the delivery. I don't know how it is at other stores, but for the location I was at, after going through the exterior door that said receiving above it, there was a desk counter thing immediately to my right. The inside of the receiving docks was immediately to my left. There was a large open area where the pallets were temporarily stored as they've pulled off the truck, before being sorted for wherever they're being taken. There was a walk space of about 4 or 5 feet behind the desk counter and then a wall. I'm pretty sure it hit the staff break room. I could see around the walled-off area into a Costco back storage area. Between the storage area and open area for the docks, there was an open space that led into the store proper. It had a bright yellow chain draped across it, and a plastic rectangle in the middle presumably said something like employees only or authorized personnel only. After about 10 minutes of bored staring about, I pulled out my phone and started playing Scrabble. I just managed to land a fat choir on a triple word score when I heard that irritated tasking noise I usually only hear from non-smokers when I'm choosing to poison myself in a public area. I glanced up and looked around but didn't see anyone in the immediate vicinity. I went back to my game. Half a heartbeat later I hear, "Excuse me." I glanced up again, idly wondering if maybe the manager had finally come back to sign for the damn delivery. No joy. Since there were no employees looking like they were ready to sign my stack of paperwork and tell me what dock they wanted backed into, I went back to my game. Again, came a louder "Excuse me." I finally triangulated the sound and saw a wild Karen standing just past the chain separating the store from the dock. Unfortunately, she noticed me see her. "You know you really shouldn't be on your phone," she smarmed at me like some sort of patronizing kindergarten teacher. "There's a customer out here who needs your help." I looked down at my t-shirt, then up to her, then just shook my head. My t-shirt was black with screen printing of a Peterbilt and read, "My parents told me I could be anything, so I became a trucker and an asshole." "Not my problem," I replied. "I just need you to check back there for random wasn't I've never heard of. Now put your phone away and help me." I rolled my eyes. "I don't work here. F. I don't even shop here, I do all my bulk at Sam's. She turned fluorescent red, and for a moment I thought it was because of embarrassment. Nope. How dare you cuss at a customer? Get me your manager now. My inner demon, never really on a leash to begin with, grinned maniacally and took control. I gave the bee my biggest shit-eating grin. I spun around. Hey you dumb... Oh my god, I can't say that on YouTube. I'm a OP's boss. I understand you have a problem, but I can't possibly give a shit. I drove 600 miles to deliver a 53 food trailer full of the crap you buy here, only to get cut off and honked at multiple times in the parking lot while navigating to the store's shitastic dock. My patient has been exhausted for the day, and your idiocracy is not making my life any easier. I wasn't yelling at her, I was talking loud enough she could hear me. I was still standing next to the desk counter thing. She had taken several steps towards me, straining the plastic chain. Her eyes were bugged out and her face was freaking purple. How dare you? I'm a paying customer. I quit listening and just let screech. I'm sure she was about to launch into a tirade for the ages, but I really did not want to hear it. I took a couple of steps away from the counter and poked my head through the doorway of the walled-off area. My early assumption was correct. It was the break room, complete with some poor girl eating her lunch. Hey, I said, I know you're on a break, but could you get the store manager back here? I've been waiting quite a while for him to come sign for the delivery I've got for y'all. And there's a screaming harpy yelling. I already called him, the girl said, holding up her phone. He's on his way. Thank you kindly, I replied, and returned to my post. The woman was still screeching at me. I tuned out and ignored her, focusing instead on how to use a goddamn W and 3 effing Fs in one word. About a minute, maybe a minute and a half later, the manager finally arrived. The woman immediately started in on demanding I be fired, and how can he let his employees be so disrespectful, blah blah blah. I got to give props to that dude. He managed to listen to her respectfully and de-escalate her down to just seething, instead of apoplectic. When she finally managed to run out of steam, he told her that I didn't work there. Moreover, he was able to determine that whatever it was the cunt was looking for, they were actually out and she would have to wait for more to come in. Cue the wild Karen slinking dejectedly back into the store. Also manager dude then let me know to back into the dock too while scanning the barcode on my paperwork. He signed my copy and handed it back to me, laughing a little. He accompanied me outside to cut the seal on my trailer and explained what was so funny. Apparently whatever it was the bee had been looking for was included in my trailer. Apparently he had multiple problems with a customer in the past, so he was definitely not going to let her know. A happy ending to the story. Also manager dude let me park overnight at the dock since I was running low on hours and it was already 5. The city I delivered to tends to run out of truck parking between 3 and 4. So those were the stories for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be highly appreciated. It really does help my channel out. Also, if you enjoyed this and want to stay up to date on the latest videos, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening and I will see you in the next video.